Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. For 644 days, Ukraine defends itself against the forces of the Russian invasion. In his in-video address, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky informed that he visited southern regions of Ukraine, Odessa, Mykolaiv and Kherson, which recently suffered from bad weather. He said that local repair crews are working to promptly restore electricity supply to people. If necessary, the state emergency service personnel and power engineers from other regions that have not experienced such problems with the weather will be brought in. The head of state reminded that all regions need to have a number of points of invincibility sufficient for any emergency situation, whether related to weather or security. Point of invincibility is a place with independent power, heat and internet supply that is open to the public. The Economist released an article claiming that political disagreements in Kyiv are becoming more and more tense. President Volodymyr Zelensky sees a competitor in the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine, Valery Zaluzhny, reports Ukrainska Pravda. According to the media, when Russia launched its invasion in February 2022, competitive politics went into hibernation. It returned when the existential threat to Ukraine receded later that year. Cracks appeared not only on political lines but also between the military and political leadership. Relations between President Volodymyr Zelensky and his commander-in-chief Valery Zaluzhny are considered terrible, claims The Economist. With the lack of success of counteroffensive, the search for those responsible for the failure is now underway. The Economist also notes that Zaluzhny has not declared any political ambitions and his few steps in the political arena could not be called skillful. At the same time, internal polls seen by The Economist suggest the president has been tarnished by corruption scandals in his government and concerns about the country's direction. Data obtained in mid-November show that trust in the president has fallen to 32%, which is less than half that of the still respected General Zaluzhny, 70%. Intelligence chief Kyrylo Budanov also has better rating than the president, 45%. 8 out of 10 Ukrainians oppose the idea of holding elections during the war. The president also ruled out holding them in 2024, citing martial law. But the drop in his ratings may still convince him to change his mind, suggests the media. All this may be used by Russia and its propaganda machine. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. This way more people would learn about the podcast and truth about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. A building where a meeting of Russian occupiers was held was blown up, killing 5 Russian officials of the temporarily occupied village of Yuvileyne, Kherson Oblast, reports Hromadske. According to Ukraine's resistance, information needed for the strike was provided by locals. Also, Russia has confirmed the death of Major General Vladimir Zavadsky in the war in Ukraine, reports Channel 24. He was blown up by a mine. According to a Russian media outlet Vazhnaye Istorie, Major General was deputy commander of the 14th Army Corps. He blew up on a mine in the rear rather than on the front lines. The investigation into his death is considered the theory that he triggered a mine that had been set up by a nearby Russian unit to counter Ukrainian reconnaissance and sabotage groups. At the same time, an attempt has also been made to attribute Zavadsky's death to an artillery strike by the Ukrainian armed forces. This is the 12th announcement of the death of a senior Russian armed forces officer in Ukraine. Ukrainian hackers, with the help of the Security Service of Ukraine, have hacked the website of the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection of Russia and downloaded more than 100 terabytes of data, reports Ukrainska Pravda. According to the media sources in the security forces, the Blackjack hacker group, together with cyber specialists of the Security Service of Ukraine, gained access to a large number of document statistics on the conduct of military operations, personal data of military personnel, materials of reports to the Russian president, and information on the number of prosthetics ordered. A separate array of information concerns the temporarily occupied Kherson, Zaporizhia, and Kharkiv oblasts and their current collaborative leadership. After downloading the necessary information, hackers erased more than 100 terabytes of data from the ministry's servers. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We're a commercial initiative of just two people and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.